This is the day that Governor Romney is going to visit Salem. And it is a time, I think, that we need to focus on what President Obama did in issuing a temporary amnesty to those illegally in the country between the ages of 16 and 25. When Governor Romney was asked about his response to the directive by President Obama, he essentially gave no response. His response, taken from an Associated Press quote, was, "The status of young people should be solved on a long-term basis so they know what their future would be in this country." Unlike Romney, if I were elected president, I would immediately rescind the directive of President Obama. Dealing with illegal immigration must be done in a firm, fair manner. I have consistently had a no amnesty policy because amnesty in any form only encourages more illegal entry into our country. Street talk among those that cross the border in violation of our laws takes this posture. If we can get to the United States and stay for just a few years, we'll be okay because we'll never have to go home. The position of both Governor Romney and President Obama on this matter in the last few days clearly indicates that the street talk among those that cross our border illegally is right on. Neither Governor Romney nor President Obama want to take a firm stand against illegal immigration. You won't end illegal immigration unless you take a hard stand and stop the magnets that attract persons from other countries to break the law and come into the United States. For example, I have consistently favored, when I was in Congress, the ending of automatic birthright citizenship. That is where the children of illegal in this country get automatic citizenship. We had the legislation by Congressman Deal to block that statutorily. Congressman Paul had a constitutional amendment on the matter. Whether you take the constitutional approach or the statutory approach, we need to end automatic birthright citizenship. Automatic birthright citizenship is followed by Medicaid, food stamps, public assistance, and possibly public housing, all at the expense of taxpayers. In addition, we should have a policy of no admittance to public schools unless there's a production of a birth certificate, a naturalization certificate, or to use the language of the recent Supreme Court analysis opinion, and that is you've got to have the documents and papers produced before someone should be allowed in the public school system. I recall when my daughter entered public schools in Franklin County, I had to get a birth certificate from the state of Virginia to establish her age. We should have that as a uniform rule. The states, the localities, and the federal government should work on this matter jointly in requiring proof of legality here or citizenship before you can enter public school. If that had been the established rule, the argument for the DREAM Act would go out the window. The DREAM Act, which gives a work permit and then a green card which is a glide path to citizenship to those that are illegal in the country, is just a further magnet if passed. There should be no Medicaid, no food stamps, and no public housing unless the same sort of documents are produced, either a United States birth certificate, a naturalization certificate, or the papers establishing that you are a legal permanent resident. I would be comfortable with even restricting it to citizenship only. That would reduce the magnets that attract persons to this country illegally. We have E-Verify. That needs to be carried out so that only those legally in the country are employed. I advocated, in addition to working against illegal immigration, and this is in the press packet, I wrote about it in 2011, the need for a moratorium on green card admissions to the United States. We have between 1 million and 1.2 million green card admissions every year. 2/3 to 3/4 of that number are in the job market. Why do you bring in more workers from other countries when you have unemployment between 8 and 9%? Our campaign has focused on citizenship matters. Jobs in the United States should be first for citizens in this country. And with unemployment between 8 and 9%, we do not need so many green card admissions. My advocacy for a moratorium would be nearly complete with a few exceptions. For example, fiancé visas, or if someone truly had a talent, like Werner von Braun, that no one else could do in our country, then an admission for that would be permissible. But to have so many green cards issued every year is the wrong course to take with our unemployment rate as high as it is. In the area of legal immigration, I've also advocated and co-sponsored the legislation which Congressman Goode carried in the past, and I believe is currently carrying, to end diversity visas. That's 50,000, up to 50,000 persons per year. Chain migration. Congressman Phil Gingrey has had that legislation in the past. That's where more distant relatives can get into the country and get green cards. If we took actions like these, we would, one, improve the economy for United States citizens by reducing so many green card holders. They come into this country and compete with the American citizens. And what President Obama did last week was to say that his temporary amnesty for those between 16 and 35, they get work permits. That will further make it more competitive for U.S. citizens to get jobs. Again, I wish President Obama and Governor Roanoke would reverse their positions and take a strong stand on these issues so that we could end illegal immigration or substantially stop it and reduce legal immigration while unemployment is so high. With that, I'll open it up for questions.